Hi, this is Gwen, your emotional freedom coach and inner child advocate. And I've been really wanting to share with people what it's like to experience tapping with an inner child advocate. And a magical thing happened. About 2010, just after I started doing tapping as a coach, I worked with a woman who has become a dear friend. And after we worked together for only 10 sessions, she went off and wrote a book. Now, I don't know if EFT had anything to do with her ability to write the book, but in her book, she shared her experience, our experience with tapping together. And yesterday, I've had the manuscript of her book in my computer for a few years now, and I'm embarrassed to say that I have not read it yet. But yesterday, for some reason, I woke up with a very strong urge to read her book. So I pulled it out on the computer and started reading. I read 12 chapters. It was very powerful. And the name of the book is Courage to Rise, and her name is Angelina Tate. And the piece that she wrote about our tapping sessions together, I was so touched by that I would love to share it with you because it's from a client's perspective, and a client from 2010. I've learned a lot since then. And so, anyway, without further ado, I would just love to share that with you. So I'm going to be reading it, so please bear with me while I'm reading. But it's just too powerful. I don't want to miss anything. So here we go. Every day I would do something towards improving myself. She was really struggling with depression. So it didn't seem like much, but given my state, it was a lot. I did commit to observing my reflection every day, no matter how painful. I allowed myself to feel all my pain and failures, and equally allowed myself to feel my successes and strengths. Every day, looking at my reflection became tranquil because I was reconnecting with me. One day, the tears stopped, and I noticed I had really beautiful hair. I started laughing and said to myself, of all things you notice your hair? Yes, to notice something, anything beautiful about myself once again was an amazing gift. I had worked hard to give back to me. About this time, I had the privilege of meeting with Gwen Orweiler, who is an expert practitioner in emotional freedom therapy. I'd learned about EFT in graduate school, but it wasn't emphasized within my curriculum of classes. Gwen asked me if I would allow her to give me some sessions over the phone to help her business by having testimonials. I reluctantly agreed, simply wanting to help a new friend and potential colleague. I had no clue what my sessions with Gwen would give me. Gwen was raw and never allowed me to suppress any part of how I truly felt about anything in my life. She never judged, never gasped, nor was critical of anything I revealed to her. Looking back, she was indifferent to things about my childhood, not apathetic, simply indifferent. With Gwen, my experiences, good or bad, were just that, experiences that had shaped the very core of my behaviors as an adult. She made it clear her job was to help me become free of the emotions that held me chained. In order for her to help me, she expressed I had to do the unthinkable. I had to do something so dreadful for me, it scared the hell out of me. Honestly, in the beginning, I appeased to her because I thought it ridiculous. The requirement of Gwen to do her job with me was, without a doubt, the most frightening attempt at healing for me. This exercise, if you will, in her EFT would require me to have my inner child take the lead. Say what? I had been programmed to simply ignore the wounded child inside, get over it, and move forward. More specifically, I didn't love my inner child. In fact, I loathed my inner child. I thought the childhood version of me was ugly, cowardice, and I knew my inner child was full of an extreme amount of shame. Having my inner child take the lead in this type of therapy, was probably equivalent to voluntarily surrendering to the kid's dad as an exceptional role model. Not only didn't I love the childhood version of me, I had no mercy on that child within me, none. Being required to speak from that inner child was the most absurd thing. That child couldn't be trusted, respected, loved, deserving, or above all, worthy to speak for the adult version of me. It was extremely uncomfortable in the beginning, to say the least. After the first session, I thought, what the hell did I commit to? I thought, she's supposed to be helping me heal, not sending me backwards in time, drudging all the pain and anguish from my childhood. By the second session, I had become intertwined with my inner child, and I did not like it at all. All the emotions, pain, shame, and guilt came to the surface, and I felt like the moments in time were being relived. But I didn't quit the sessions for some reason. I couldn't quite grasp it. However, I felt a bit freer. Perhaps voicing all the suffering I did feel from my childhood was finally released, unchained, and I could breathe truth into my heart once again. For me, that was the thing about EFT. I didn't like the process, but that process was so powerful in my healing. I say I didn't like it because it was emotionally exhausting most times. And remember, I spent most of my life not allowing myself to feel these things which Gwen had me feel. Emotional exhaustion to me was supposed to come from dealing with my ex-husband's repetitive turmoil, not my own. After a session with Gwen, I was done. During sessions, my rise and fall of intensity towards events that had programmed me were without a doubt the greatest moments of my life to actually give my inner child a voice. Frankly, my child within never had a voice. All the years I loathed my inner child, thought her weak, wouldn't forgive, it was the adult me that couldn't face the truth. The truth was, as a small child, I didn't know how to interpret much of anything that I had experienced, experiences that no child should ever face. Horrendous experiences that program a child to believe love hurts, love rejects, love manipulates, love negotiates, love is unforgiving, and yes, love is not within. In my sessions with Gwen, she always had these this uncanny ability to know if I was holding back any anger. If she detected I was, she would not pull me back, but she would invoke the emotions she knew I was holding back. She forced me to face those demons. That didn't sound good, but I guess that's how she felt. Her gentle yet assertive ways allowed me to have aha moments in my life which would bring awareness of why I did the things I did in my adult life. Understanding the why, connecting the dots like a puzzle coming together, was extremely helpful for me in my healing. Not just healing the place I was at the time, but digging up the root causes of my repeated actions. This was true healing to me. I didn't want to just dig my way out of the depression. I wanted answers. I wanted clarity. And I wanted to dig up my roots, no matter how painful, shameful, or revealing they might be. I knew this was the only authentic healing. Gwen was my vessel, my lifting hand, my teacher, my soul tie, and my hero. Through her, I discovered so much about myself, and most beautifully put, Gwen helped me embrace and love my inner child. Not again, but for the first time in my entire life. Wow. Assertively put, Gwen expressed to me I was trying desperately to run my adult life based on the emotions of a wounded child. And that wounded child had been through so much. My inner child had not known what love really meant nor felt like. Acknowledging my pain in a way I had never done with Gwen made me realize I lived not only suppressing the beautiful child's voice within me, but I lived blaming and resenting that inner child. I lived believing my inner child was dumb, cowardice, ugly, tainted, and unable to have happiness, With Gwen, I learned my inner child handled her life like a champion, was and is beautiful, had a voice, a powerful one. And I learned my inner child endured much pain and suffering without resources to help interpret those experiences in ways to help heal from them. My sessions with Gwen taught me something so powerful that no church, preacher, professor, or rabbi could have ever taught me. My sessions taught me to forgive myself. My sessions with Gwen taught me not only to forgive, but to love my inner child. For the first time as an adult woman, I wept for my inner child, had compassion, and most importantly, I embraced and found my wholeness. For the first time, I felt my temple, my heart, and my mind were one, together, united, and stronger than ever. For the first time, I found freedom from the shame of being molested as a little girl, and I knew that moment in my young life programmed my thoughts of ambivalence and shame. I realized I had spent most of my entire adult life sitting in a threshold, afraid of which way to go, afraid I would be harmed and violated either way, so I chose to remain paralyzed in my choices. My sessions with emotional freedom therapy were without a doubt a cleansing that helped me see clear how harsh and uncompassionate I had been to my own being. Always critical, judging, blaming, and never feeling worthy of any healing, much less honor and self-dignity. After my sessions with Gwen, it became my mission and purpose to learn how to give myself the love I had deeply desired from others in my life. The purpose was foreign to me. My whole life, I strived to make others feel loved and comforted while ignoring myself. I mostly spent my entire life in a relationship where I got angry, hurt, disappointed, and suffered because I didn't get in return what I thought I was giving away. Between what I had gained with Gwen and my spirituality, I was well equipped with the knowledge and emotional tools to grow and learn. Since our sessions, Gwen and I have developed such a phenomenal friendship. I have given her the nickname Nordy. Her experience, her expertise, and passion doing EFT has been my antivirus. She equipped me with knowledge. Sessions with her require courage to put into action what one learns through her, but mostly what one learns in becoming self-aware of their own behaviors. Wow, that was so amazing. And so, again, her book is called Courage to Rise. Her name is Angelina Tate, and you can find her book on Amazon.com. And so anyway, thank you so much for letting me share, and I hope that some piece of that resonates with you, and you too might be interested in working with an inner child advocate. I'd love to work with you. Thanks so much. Hope to see you next time. Bye.